Department of Corrections Director Jose San Agustin and his management team may have appeared before senators, but it wasn't his testimony that took center stage. Rather, testimony from two people. The first, Dave Scholes. His wife was the victim who was beat with an iron and bound with a cord after accused murderer Keith Garrido managed to use a staple to escape from his handcuff and jump out of a transport vehicle that didn't even have locking devices, not even a child lock. Scholes was emotional as he spoke before senators about what happened to his wife on November 4th, how he retired from the military and has called Guam home for the last 6 years. He shared a picture of his wife to senators.
I have a Japanese wife. When this happened, it traumatized her for the rest of her life now. I've taken 2 weeks off of leave from work now. I don't know if I got to take more to support her. Something's got to be done, you know? It's sad. Now she's talking about going back home. I can't live without my wife. Many of you are married. What happens if your wife leaves? You know, you guys married. What happens if your wife leaves you? You know? I got 2 kids. I got one going to college next year.
Other testimony came from a former Department of Corrections officer, Eric Santos, who testified about a climate of corruption.
There's a lot of dirty business going on in this department that needs to be revealed. Internal affairs investigations are not appropriately being conducted. You know, you have a lot of deceit from the investigation, a lot of misinformation being informed to the employee.
Santos said when Director Jose San Agustin first came in, he had an open-door policy, but that all changed. He said he's tried to submit information and file a complaint about improper conduct by officers at DOC, but was denied access to the director by DOC spokesperson Jeff Limo. Santos today said he submitted a packet containing pictures to Senator Brent McCready's office that he said was proof of corruption.
There's a lot of talk, and it's been in the media so many times. How is contraband getting in there? When you see that picture, you would see how contraband's getting in there. Well, it's clear and convincing, reason beyond a doubt, however you want to call it, that it's a factual reason. There's a lot of corrupted officers in there. And it's not helping when management is safeguarding them. And we're trying to get rid of these individuals. And it affects the subordinates that are really trying their best to, you know, keep the department up and running and good and making ends meet for their families.
During the oversight hearing, Director San Agustin was repeatedly asked about whether the agency was in a state of emergency, considering the fact that they haven't filled some 50 vacancies, although the legislature had provided funding to hire. Also, the fact that some officers are working 7 days a week. Then there's the November 4th escape, and most recently, the release of videos and pictures of officers evidently slacking on the job.
No one on this panel believes that in any policy, infrastructure, procedures, transport, overtime, employees, all 3 of you agree publicly, here and now, under oath, that there's no emergency at the Department of Corrections. No one believes that there's any type of state emergency at the Department of Corrections. Nothing.
Senator, one incident happened on the 4th of November.
No, yes or no, sir? We all. Mr. Limo, yes or no? There's no state emergency. No emergency.
No emergency, sir.
No emergency.